to have a better chance of beating Errol Spence.
Yeah, I think. Well, I think it would favor him. But you know, whatever route he wants to go, he's a champion. So you know, he has to let the people know if he has to take a fight where Errol Spence first, he's a champion. So that's what he has to do. But
and David and Jose, the reason why I say that is because by way of contrast, you have somebody like Jose, who's calling out a fighter that a lot of people don't call out. And Jose could have, said, well, I can't really fight Terrence Crawford because it's, the business and all that kind of stuff. So, Jose, you heard what I just said. Yeah. Your thoughts on the situation with Sean?
I mean, this is the way I see it. You're world champion, right? You fight whoever they put in front of you. You don't duck or dodge anyone. I'll fight whoever. I wouldn't, if they offered me to fight with him, I'll fight him tomorrow, Errol Spence or whoever. So for him to say that, I mean, I don't know. It kind of seems like he's scared of me, to be honest with you. Because like I said, I mean, if he said yeah in the ring and then afterwards he kind of changed it off and said no, I mean, you're at a level where you can't be ducking or dodging anyone. You're world champion, so whoever they put in front of you, you have to face him and you have to beat him. So, I mean.
Wow. I mean.
I can ask that question. Go ahead. Do you have like a game plan for when you fight Crawford?
I mean, I have like my dad said earlier, we have a couple tricks up our sleeves, we've been watching video on them, and we have a good game plan, and I'm gonna beat him. Like I've said in previous interviews, a lot of people are doubting me, but that's good, it motivates me more because October 13th, I'm gonna shock the world, and I'm gonna show him who the best 147-pounder is.
That's what it is.
I got a question for Jose. If you are successful with Crawford, what would be, forget the networks, forget everything else, for your own for your own choice, who's the guy would you like to face if you were to beat after Crawford? Who would you like to face from all these 147 champions and fighters out there, even non-champions, maybe for a money fight? Is there a personal preference?
Like I just said right now, Errol Spence can get a next two. He wants to be talking trash, saying he punished me. He can get a next two.
So that would be your favorite?
I'll fight whoever. I don't duck or dodge anyone. I train to win, and that's what I'm gonna keep doing. And it's not an if I am successful. I'm gonna be successful that night, and I'm gonna beat him.
Jose Benavidez, y'all. Jose Benavidez in the building. Super middleweight champion David Benavidez in the building. Go ahead.
A quick question, Jose, David. I always wanted to ask you guys. Last week there was an article up on Boxing Scene. It mentioned how the WBC wants to propose this deal of preventing fathers from working in the fighters' corners. I just want to know what's your take on that and how, what's the impact that could happen if that really does come to fruition.
I feel like that taking that aspect away, for me personally, it wouldn't be right. And it's just my dad has invested so much time. We have so much hours in the gym together that nobody could train me like how he does, and I wouldn't have that chemistry with anybody else. I would, if that rule would go into effect, we would oppose against it. But sometimes they have their minds made up. But it wouldn't work with us. They would have to make an exception for us.
I think that's just a big rumor. I mean, that sounds too ridiculous, too far. I seen some little article or some little tweet, but that sounds too far fetched though. Yeah. That would never happen.
Didn't they give Kenny Porter a belt already?
Say it again.
Didn't the WBC give Kenny Porter a belt too?
Yeah, that's right. They giving out belts to fathers now. So I mean, yeah, I mean, so they can't. They're not gonna do nothing like that. Yeah. That sounds ridiculous. I mean, how many champions fathers were in their corners, from Roy Jones to to, like I said, the Benavidez brothers. I mean, Porters. What's that? Who?
Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, Floyd Mayweather. Yeah. So no, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. I never took that story serious. Go ahead.
I think the story got misconstrued. I think the story got misconstrued because years ago this is something that was coming out through the amateur ranks, and it was dealing with fathers putting their young kids in predicaments to where they wouldn't stop the fight. They're carrying over these macho emotions, and I think that's where that was coming from. I don't know how it got into the professional talk. Things, but
yeah.
I mean, in that right there, I don't think that has anything to do with being a father or not. I think just giving your fighter the best chance. If you feel like, a fighter maybe could be hurt, but you've seen something in the gym where maybe when they get hurt, they come back even stronger. You know what I mean? It's different with everybody, but you can't just pin that down on him being a father. The father being in the corner of the son, that makes no sense.
And speaking of that, David, I get annoyed when I hear fans. Soon as a fighter, he could be 50-0. Soon as he get the first loss with his father, they say, "Oh, he needs to fire his father." I'm like, and like I said before, if you guys are gonna blame, the failures, or you're gonna blame the losses on the father, then you would have to blame the father on the wins as well. You know what I mean? It works both ways. You can't just only blame it. And once again, when a fighter has 400 amateur fights, he has 20, 30 professional fights, he loses one close decision, and you're gonna say it's the trainer? That doesn't logically even add up.
I mean, and you can't always blame the trainer too, because if you're a world-class fighter, you have to do the job where you bring something. You imply something to the style where you talk to your trainer, whoever it might be, and then both you guys, you get on the same page. It's not always the trainer. You can't just say, "Oh, the trainer told me throw a jab, and I threw a jab. That's why I got knocked out."
Yeah.
You got to know when to throw the jab. You can't.
You're in the driver's seat.
Yeah, you're in the driver's seat.
So sometimes you got to use your own discretion.
I must add something very important. I've seen Jose Benavidez senior train these guys and all the other guys there. There's no way. There's not many trainers out there that is better than this guy. There's no way that he trains those guys like I've never seen. It's like pure 100% dedication, and plus he has the love for the son. So where are they gonna get another trainer like this?
Yeah.
When you have a combination like this, and I'm talking real talk here. When you have a guy who's so intense and wants to win so badly, and then you have the sons, he inserted all this incredible workmanship into their craft. You can't be this. So I've seen him train. This guy doesn't mess around. And these guys actually, you can see what David does and what Jose does. How many times you're going to see two world champions by a father? There's not that many guys out there.
There's not that many. And once again, let me just add on to that. If that was the solution why a person loses, then there would be all type of fighters out there running around undefeated and never lost because they had the perfect trainer, right? So like I said, there is no such thing as, the perfect trainer or the perfect fighter, or you can't blame it on the trainer, especially if you got 50 wins or 20 wins and you just get one loss, Now if your trainer is telling you go in there and put your hands down and put your face out, and try to bait them in, if you're telling people stuff like that, then you be like, yeah, you need to get rid of him. I know trainers out here. In Vegas. I'm not gonna mention names, but if one trainer in particular, every time his fighter get hit, he'll be in the background like, yeah, that's it. His fighter be getting hit, and he be like, yeah, and everybody be laughing about it, man. But everybody know who I'm talking about too. But go ahead.
Dante. Not to mention.
Hey, Blue Blood. We got Blue Blood Sports TV on the line. What's going on, Blue? Go ahead.
What's good with you? Not to mention, man, when we mention the fathers with this situation, man, what about the father figures? Because Andre Ward's father wasn't there, and Virgil Hunter is like his father, and then we know the Peterson brothers with Barry Hunter. So what are they going to do? Exclude them out of? They can't be in their corner either.
Yeah.
I mean, they biologically not their father, but they are their father. We saw the story with Andre Ward, with his father dying when he was young, and Virgil Hunter's like the only father he know. And the same situation with the Peterson brothers, because they were actually homeless, and Barry Hunter is their father. So what are they gonna do? Tell them that they can't be in their corner as well? So that's just an idiotic thing, man.
It would never happen. It would never happen, man. But hey, I want to get to another call real quick because I think this is an international call. We got, what is this, 52166? What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from, man?
Mexico.
Yeah, my name is Moses. I'm calling out of Mexico.
Hey, that's what it is. What's going on, man?
I just got a question. I'm a big fan of both the Benavidez brothers. I want to know when David's gonna, maybe fight. I don't know, George Groves or, Gilberto Ramirez or, one of the unify the belt.
Yeah, well, right now we got Anthony Dirrell in front of us, so that's what we're gonna take care of first. But you know, I'm as eager as to get to those other belts as you guys are to see me get to other belts. You know what I mean? I'm excited. I want to make it happen as quick as possible because I feel like I could really take over the division. So as soon as we can make that happen, that's what we're gonna do. You know what I mean? Don't lose don't lose patience with me because you know we're trying to unify all those titles as well.
Yep. That's
Yeah,
what
I'd like to see you. I'd like to see you go against George Groves. That'd be.
Yeah, that would be an amazing fight, you know. And that's the type of fights I want to get with all these champions. They're experienced champions, you know what I mean. So I have a lot to prove to myself, like I said before. You know, I just want you guys, you know, like you guys been giving me so much hope, you know, and believe in me so much that I want to prove you guys right that I am gonna be the reigning champion for the years.
I think you handle you. I think you'll be. I think you can take all the belts. To be honest with you.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you, and I appreciate all the support as well. You know, that's exactly what we're gonna do. Stay tuned. Thank you.
That's what it is. And thanks for your call. You have any other questions? You have any questions for Jose before I let you go?
Oh yeah, Jose. Matt props, man. You fighting top 5. That's in your division. That's man. More power to you.
I'm sorry, cut off. I can't really hear. What'd you say?
I think did we lose him?
Yeah.
Oh, you still there?
I said it. More power to you. It's good to see you fight in the top 5, and it'd be a good fight to see you against Pacquiao too.
Oh no, thank you. I mean, that's what we do. You know, we work hard. We work hard every day. We dedicate our life to this, and we want to give the fans what they want to see. You know, we want to keep. We're gonna keep winning fights and keep giving those big fights and giving the fans a good show.
That's what it is. Hey, thanks.
Oh, and I'm glad to see that you recovered off that incident that happened. It's good to see you boxing again too.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, and God bless.
Take care, man. Thanks for calling in, man.
I got a great question, more like a fan question. I want to ask David and Jose, not current fighters, but if you had one fighter in the 168 from all time that you would have loved to face, like a fantasy fight, if you had to choose one guy, who would it be and why him?
Well, if there was one guy I would fight, you know, I still need a couple years of training, but the one fight, a fantasy fight for me would be Roy Jones. You know what I mean?
Wow, my favorite fighter of all time. You just mentioned my favorite fighter of all time.
So my belief is, I think, you know what I mean, I'm gonna train as much as I can, be as dedicated as I can. So if we're in my prime, I could say I had a chance, you know, against Roy Jones.
We're talking about Roy Jones' prime, Roy Jones.
Yeah.
What would happen in this fight?
No,
Be honest.
I'm thinking I'm getting the victory, man. That's how I gotta think.
Damn sure ain't gonna say he gonna lose.
Yeah, I gotta, you know, in my head, I gotta think if I went back, if I faced any of the legends, I'm coming out on top, and that's what keeps me going every day. You know, just being better than all the people I looked up to in my whole life.
It's funny because I asked the same question to Joe Calzaghe about 6-7 years ago. And usually fighters, they always say, I'm going to win.
Yeah.
That was the first time that Joe looked at me. He said, you know what, that's one of the fights I'm not sure. At his prime, I'm not sure. That's a tough one to call.
Yeah,
but
probably when he told you that he was already, 50-0, 49-0, so he was already done with his career. You know, I still have a lot to prove.
No, that was in the beginning of
the beginning of
that
his
was when we covered the fight with Mikael Kessler.
Oh, but
when Joe Calzaghe beat Mikael Kessler.
he had already accomplished a lot by that point. You know, he has. You know, I have a lot to accomplish myself before I even think of a defeat. You know, and that's even if I think I'm never gonna think about me getting.
But I'm glad you said Roy Jones because that's my favorite fighter. And same question I want to ask Jose Benavidez.
About that saying that he doesn't know, you know, you can't ever go in the ring or ever think that you're not sure if you're gonna win. You know, you always have to think that you're gonna know that you're gonna win. You know, like I said, to me it doesn't matter who's in front of me. I'm gonna go in there with that mentality that I'm gonna beat him. So
fantasy
it doesn't matter
fight. Who would it be from all time if you had to choose from back of the days?
That's a hard one. You know, there's a lot of good fighters. So, I mean, I don't.
You gotta name one.
Floyd.
Well, I used to like, you know, when De La Hoya used to fight. Now I remember when I was little, I wanted to fight him. So
okay, there's one.
That's a hell of a fight there.
Well, tell me which fighters inspired you the most. Who's your favorite fighters? Who really motivated you?
A lot of people don't like this guy, but Prince Nassim, you know, I loved watching that guy fight.
Yeah.
Prince Nassim, he was a man, you know.
Yeah, Prince was one of my favorites.
The flying carpet, carpet, boy.
And the thing with him too, he talked a lot of trash, but that motherfucker backed it up.
Yeah, he did.
Backed it up.
Was, you know, he had his confidence was so high. You know, it looked like he had supreme confidence, and not only
it was
that,
real.
Outside the ring, how flamboyant he was. You know what I mean? He just brought a lot of attention to himself.
The funny part about it is too, he's like, damn, I'm looking good. That motherfucker was ugly. Hey, it makes me feel good. I'll be like, damn, I'm looking good too. Shit.
If you thought he looked ugly back then, goddamn.
Hey, but
have you seen him today?
No, that's still one person I want to meet. You know, that's still one person I want to meet, and I don't really care to meet much boxers, but I want to meet him.
Well, you could meet the guy who beat him, Marco Antonio Barrera, at the Box Fan Expo. He's gonna be there from 10 to 2. You're going to be able to meet the guy who beat Nassim.
I'll never forget
Even though Prince
move.
Nassim was an amazing fighter.
I never forget the move Barrera made Nassim Hamed make when he jumped in the air, his feet was up and he flexed like Gumby.
Yes.
I was like, God damn.
Prince
I mean, he
Nassim-
showed talent even in getting hit. And Nassim showed talent.
Nassim was a hell of a fighter for sure.
Yeah, he was.
And great showmanship.
No, he was. And it's a good documentary, real good documentary on YouTube with Nassim. Have you guys ever seen it?
All of them.
Yeah, man. And I love how he even teaches you how he avoids punches and stuff. Like he be showing how he sets up with the jab and everything. So yeah.
And then the other documentary, if you guys haven't taken a look at it,
to follow that rhythm of the music and the song, that's why he had so many thousands of punches. And when you see Joe fight, he throws punches like no other. Like he over 1,000 punches, but he does it like in rhythm, ba 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 ba, like a music. And that's his father told me about this story. Incredible story.
And Lomachenko has a similar story because he grew up in the circus, and and you see him doing all kind of dancing underwater without getting wet because he's so talented. That has a lot to do with it. He was in the circus or something like that. They said before he started to box. So yeah, man. A lot of people, they got extra hitting talents and everything.
I think he was a trained dancer.
What's up? Go ahead.
I think he was a trained dancer or something like that.
Yeah, he was some kind
of training.
Or I might be getting him kicked. I might be getting him mixed up with Jorge Paez. I know Paez was in the circus.
I'd like to ask a question to Jose Benavidez Sr. How he got into the boxing and what made him start doing the boxing and then getting his kids involved.
Great question.
Well, the reason I started boxing is because I grew up with our parents, and when I got married when I was like 13 years old, Junior was born when I was about 15, 16 years old. And the reason I started boxing is because I just want to be with them. And I didn't want him to feel that feeling that I had, that I needed my parents. Every time I go to school, they would say, hey, bring your parents. And, I had nobody to bring. So I just said, I'm going to stay dedicated to him and see what he likes. And we found boxing, and it changed our lives. And that's how
why boxing? Specifically boxing?
You know what? It was an accident, To be honest with you, I didn't know nothing about boxing. I didn't know nothing about nothing, I took him to soccer, t-ball, and all that. And he didn't really like none of that. And boxing was just something that he liked. And I seen that he liked it, and I tried to support him. And I got him the first fight he had, and he won. And that changed my whole life. It was a feeling that no money can buy. And after that, I just started training them.
Did you watch a lot of trainers to pick up what they were doing?
Man, when he won that fight, if I felt something so special and something that, like I said, I tell people that was an accident when he won, because after that, I just stayed dedicated to boxing, and I watched a lot of videos and watched a lot of people train, and to this day, I'm still motivated and learn. I learn every day. Every day, I don't stop learning.
A lot of the parents, they sometimes they wanted to be themselves a professional, athlete. Did you ever dream to be maybe yourself a professional boxer? And that's why.
No, I never dreamed about nothing. I dreamed about bringing food to the table. I just wanted them to be better than me. I always work hard for them to be better than me. Unfortunately, I went through a divorce when they were Junior was about 10, 11. And, I thought, oh, shit, what happens now? I don't want them to get abused. I'm going to die pretty soon. So I got to make them stronger every day. And thank God, until this day, I haven't died. So that's my mission, to make them stronger.
I don't know. You're a pretty young guy.
Sometimes he come in here.
He looks like the brothers. He doesn't look like the father.
He look like the son, man. Now, listen. Listen, I'm proud of you. I want to. Yeah, he coming here, guys, looking all super young. I don't know who he is. I'm like, he can't be the dad, But anyway, just to add on to what Jose just said, I hate how you only hear people say this in boxing when it comes to people saying, you vicariously living through your kids. If you think about it, every parent is living through their kids, no matter what you put them through. Your kids are an extension of you. You know, if you didn't go to college, you want your kids to go to college. If you didn't finish high school, you want your kids to finish high school. It's not just boxing. Everyone wants their kids to be better than them. And that's just better if you already have a passion for something you could put him in. Because if you don't know what you're going to put him in, you basically just leading your kid into the dark. You know, so if you have a passion for something, you can guide him there and be successful. And that's why Jose Benavidez Sr. was successful with guiding his kids.
And then,
you know, so
and also too,
that's why Dante's going to bring his kid Remy back to boxing.
Yeah,
and also too, I want to thank my dad sometimes because, you know, even my own career, there was points in my life where I felt like, man, fuck, this isn't for me, man. I don't know. I was just gonna stop boxing now. You know, this is not for me. And I think I was like maybe 16, or I was going through some stuff, and I didn't want to box no more, man. My dad told me, you know what, we're gonna keep pushing that. We're gonna keep pushing. You know, it's gonna take some time to get to that world title, but we're gonna make it happen. And you know, at the time, I was like, you know, I'm just gonna keep going. You know, so for my dad, you know, I can't let him down. You know, his whole life he had worked for me, and then me for just say, you know, I'm done with boxing here. Like, it's not fair. And then we just kept going. You know, that belief. You know, my dad kept motivating me, and me believing I could actually be a world champion, because I got a lot of negative energy from people back then. I remember Ellie Setback posted a video when I was 13 years old, and I was, you know, extremely fat. You know, people putting, you know, people on YouTube, like, you know, just hating, like, this fat kid's never gonna be nothing, this and that. You know, more explicit. They're saying it more explicitly. That I can't really say, but
yeah, they don't play around on the internet.
It really depressed me to the point where I didn't want to do nothing. And I was just like, I'm just gonna believe my dad, see what we could do. You know, I became the youngest world champion at 20 years old, man. It's amazing, man. It's to this day, I just want to thank my dad, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here at all.
Great story. Great story.
And you know what?
Hey, Doc,
Go ahead, Reggie. Go ahead, Reggie.
Okay, yeah, I have